Jackie.
Today on the Boetavia cast, I talked with Katrina from Katrina's Hair and Beauty Group. We talked being on Team Ireland, we talked opening a salon on a small budget, and Katrina's presence while I talked to her about how much she loved what she did and how much she loves the people who work for her was really endearing. I hope you enjoy this as much as I enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy the video. Katrina, how are you?
Very well. How are you?
Thank you so much for coming on. I know I only reached out to you like a couple of days ago, but yeah, like I was just saying to you there before I started recording, I just noticed how much you've like totally upped your game in social media, and how like as a Dublin like hairdresser in salon, like I'm not even afraid to say that we totally forget that there are people who do loads down the country, and
Yeah.
you just caught my eye. And the fact that you're from Kerry and you're like smashing social media at the moment just really was like, I need to just get you on and talk to you. So here you are.
Here I am. I'm more than stuck to my phone with about a month. So you got me.
Yeah. And the accent isn't even a problem. I thought when I was talking to you,
That's my telephone hairdressing accent.
I work with a
You're
fella
getting
who's
home
from
now?
Kerry and I can barely understand a word he says. So
Oh well, I'm trained to talk to my customers.
right. Well,
Some of
look.
them actually do turn around and say they don't understand me.
Let's get into it. So I understand that you've got 2 salons.
Yes.
Tell me
I
about
have one. I've one in. Well, I had 3. I started in Castle Gregory, and then I opened in Tralee, and then I opened a salon in Dingle. But last year, I chose to close Castle Gregory because my Castle salon was right slap in the middle between Dingle and Tralee. So it was like when I was in the Dingle salon, people come to Dingle, and when I was in the Tralee salon, people come to Tralee. So it quietened the Castle salon then. And it was like, Castle Gregory is like a little village. There's loads of beaches around. And in the middle of the summer, it's amazing. But in the middle of the winter, you could actually, it's very, very quiet. So Tralee then was so busy. And when I was in Castle Gregory, I was losing out. So it took me 2 years to decide. So I closed last October. So now I'm in Tralee and Dingle. I'm more in Tralee full time. I might be in Dingle once a month.
Was that hard, Katrina? Like, because I know like any salon owner that I talk to talks about a salon as if it's one of their kids.
Well, Castle Gregory was my first salon. And I always said, never, ever will I close Castle Gregory. But it was actually harder to close Castle Gregory than it was to open any of the other salons, because it was my first salon.
Yeah, it was your first
and
baby.
I felt that if I was closing, the people would be like, oh God, she's closing now, she'll probably close Tralee, Dingle and down. And I'm like, but it wasn't like that. It was more from a point of money going down the drain, and it was quiet, and we were putting the money from Dingle and Tralee into keeping Castle open. And my girl that used to come in and do my books every week used to be on Katrina. And I'm like, I'm not closing Castle Gregory, it's my baby. And then it was like, I remember one Saturday I said to Frida, what's next week like? And she goes, you won. Oh, I asked her what was Wednesday, and she goes, you've won an appointment on Wednesday. And then I was booked out in Tralee. You couldn't get an appointment in Tralee. So I made my decision. I went home to my sister that Sunday, and I made my decision Sunday night, and I closed the salon on Monday.
Wow.
I'm lethal. When I get something in my head, I just have to do it and get it done. That was the same way I opened salons. I'd get a mad fit, get it in my head, and then I'd open it a couple of weeks later.
Deadly.
So I don't waste no time. But look, I hated doing it, but I'm happy. But even, you know, when I go to the village now and I pass and it's closed, I'm like, oh. But look, in the way we are at the moment with COVID-19, thanks be to God.
Definitely the best
Oh,
thing to do.
somebody was definitely looking out for me, like.
Yeah.
Because I'd be vamooshed, like. So, yeah. So I still have Tralee and Dingle. And they're flying, thank God.
Brilliant.
So hopefully they'll be as good when we go back.
And
So
when we were talking, you were telling me that you love competitions and you were on Team Ireland.
Yeah, I was in Team Ireland for the last 3-4 years. So we did Paris the first year. We came over. The next year we did Paris and we came third in the European. And then last year, right? Last year, was that last year? We went to the world in Paris, and then Mara in the Dingle Salon came fourth in the world.
Wow. Oh my God.
We do a lot. Now, I haven't done anything, say, late last year for a while. They're expensive. And then you have to kind of sponsor everything yourself as well. And between models and makeup artists and nails, we had to pay for everything ourselves, fly them. And then you get, at the end of the year, you get a percentage of it back, all right. But competitions used cost a fortune. Now I love them.
Yeah.
But then I suppose with everything closing the salons and everything kind of during the year, I didn't have time. So maybe next year now again, if it starts up.
Okay. Now, you were saying as well to me that like your passion is hairdressing, but you do upstyling all day, and then obviously being on the Irish hair team, that's a lot. And I know that a lot of people just kind of focus on one thing. How do you find balancing all of them? Because clearly you're a successful salon owner. You have 2 salons. You just said that you'd upstyle all day long. I mean, that in itself is like a totally different profession. And then hairdressing is your passion. So how do you do it all?
Well, I don't do upstyles all day long. I would do upstyles all day long. If I had it started at 9 o'clock in the morning all the way to 6 o'clock and all I had was upstyles, it'd be like a day from heaven. I love them. But I love the rest as well. But it's just, you know, the way when you like something, but that is I love doing it. I watch YouTube videos until like 5 o'clock in the morning on upstyles. On upstyles. And then,
I don't even doubt you. You look like the type of person that do that.
Yeah, there's no sleep in my house. But I don't know how I balance it. I am the most unorganized person in the world. My receptionist just laughs at me all day because I'll put something down and 5 seconds later it's gone missing. I can remember nobody's name. I am just the most unorganized person in the world. But then I have brilliant girls. So that kind of way. So I don't know. I just get it done.
Okay, I have an interesting question just because of what you just said. What made you think that opening a salon was a good thing to do if you're that unorganized?
I'm bald as steel. I'll try anything. So what have you to lose, right? I know you're going to put money into opening a salon, right? And my husband, anytime I ever told him that I was going to open the salon, he'd be like, oh, sake of I'm like, but come here, what have you to lose? You have to try things. If you don't try things, you're never going to get anywhere in life. So it was like, anytime I ever made a decision was always a case of, sure, look, what all I can do is close down or nothing to lose, like. And I love it. And I think I love being in control. I think this COVID-19 thing has seriously put you thinking of how in control that I have to be. For the first couple of months, not being in control of what's happening, you go mad. But I think it's just I love being in control. And then when I make a decision, I can't stop. So, but then when you have the right people around you, it's very easy to know.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why.
It's a brilliant answer because, like, to me, anyone, like, if I think of somebody who's an entrepreneur, it's somebody who's like dead set on something's always organized and always like has like the plan. But I mean, clearly it's working for you, and it's just nice to hear that for people who aren't organized or for people who think, oh, I don't fit what an entrepreneur might be. I mean, you're killing it at the moment, and you're booked out in both your salons. So I mean, that's something to say.
But even like when you'd go to the bank, say if you were ever going to the bank and you had to have like a business plan. I've never had a business plan. I went into the bank. I went into the bank and I'm opening a salon. I need to borrow a loan. I need to get a loan, and that's it. Business plan without the door. You just get a loan. You put it in. That's it. And I had always put it like a budget on it. I always open my salons on €10,000. No matter what I did, my salons were the most I put into was €10,000, and then what I'd put in after I'd add. But business plan. They didn't get a business plan with me anyway.
And when did you open the most recent salon?
Dingle was the most recent, and that was in 2017, the 1st of July.
And you had no business plan when you went in there? After the recession in the Celtic Tiger, you went in with no business plan and said, I just need a loan. And they said, yeah, okay, no problem, Katrina. There you go.
Come here to me. I always said if I got through 2008 in a recession and I didn't sell one of my handbags, I'll get through it. I was walking in Dingle one day and I was walking down the street next and there was like this premises empty and I went, wouldn't that be a great place to open a salon? And the girl that's running it now, Maura, was in Australia, and I sent her a message going, if I open a salon in Dingle, will you come home and run it for me? And she was like, okay. So I opened the salon in Dingle.
No way.
Yeah. So my girl in Dingle came home from Australia. She's absolutely amazing. She's the girl that came fourth in the world, and she runs that salon like clockwork. Now, she's the total 100% opposite of me. She's organised.
Hence why you hired her.
Yeah. But she's with me since the day she left school. Maura's with me since she was 17.
Wow.
She's amazing. Yeah. And then I have Grace in the Tralee salon, and I'm very soft, right? And if anyone comes to me looking for anything like to take a day's holidays, I'm like, okay, so, and then Grace like, for God's sake, Katrina, you have to check the book, you have to check if she can take it if anybody else is off. So then Grace is the solid rock inside the Tralee salon, and she's with me, my God, 8 or 9 years. And she's there since Castle Gregory. But she's brilliant as well.
So Maura is the woman who came home from Australia.
Yeah.
That must, like, you must have some relationship with somebody to pull them all the way across the world. She couldn't have had a further journey to come. How do you build a relationship with, like, because, yeah, granted, I totally understand that you can make a friendship with somebody and you could have a really good friend that would do something like that for you. But to be a boss and to be like an authority figure and build a relationship like that with somebody, that they would come all the way across the world for you to work for you. That's incredible. How do you think?
And she only went there in January. She wasn't due home until the January after. So I messaged her in June, and she was home the 1st of July. I don't know. She's with me since she was 17, and like, I honestly don't know. I have my days. Like, I seriously have my days. Some days when I'd flip. But we get on so well. I think, lots of nights out and drinking vodka and the crack. They just know. But then I treat them as equal as I am in the salon. I work on the floor exactly the same as the girls. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, obviously.
So the secret is vodka.
The secret to any problem is vodka. If I haven't turned into an alcoholic since the 14th of March, I never will. But yeah, nights out, and do you know what? Having the crack, you have to have a laugh. You have to enjoy it. There's no point in going into work, 1, not talking to your clients, 2, not having the crack, and so what's the point? Otherwise, you'll be robots. So you always have to have fun. It's all about the fun. Definitely. Otherwise, we'd be very boring.
Yeah. So when we were talking, you were telling me that you find it like stressful to run the salon, but you love it. And obviously we were just talking about how you like run the salon, you love the competitions, you were doing Team Ireland. You clearly love it a lot to do all of these things. Why do you think all of the stress is worth it? Why would you tell somebody who's thinking to open up a salon, but they're kind of like, oh, I don't want the stress of doing this? Why would you tell somebody to open up and do it themselves?
Why would I tell? One, anyway, I wouldn't tell anyone to open up a salon unless they'd want to do it themselves, right? And I love meeting people. That's one of the things as well you miss while we're at home, is meeting our customers. And they're fab. I love having somewhere to go, as in like into work. As in, what would I tell someone about opening up? It's what I said to you a while ago. Give it a go. That's all you can do. Like, there's the biggest hairdressers in the world have opened salons and they've had to peel back or they've had to make changes. The stress, I love hairdressing. I love my job. I love hair. I love even knowing about hair and being able to advise people down to even your fringe or your shampoo or the colour or the shape. I just love the whole part of that. And I think I'm hairdressing. My mum is a hairdresser, and I can remember the smell of perm lotion in our house. My sister's a hairdresser. My other sister's a hairdresser. So we're all hairdressers, right? So I think it's probably a disease, and I love it. That's it, really. As give advice, don't bury yourself. Don't go into business and take out thousands to open up a salon. Do it on the lowest you can. And as you work your way through it, put money into it then. But don't go putting thousands into a business. At least if it doesn't work out, you haven't buried yourself so much. And then when you do have the success, start putting money into it. But it must be sheer love of hairdressing and genetics from my mother.
Exactly. And it's such a reoccurring theme of talking to, I don't know if you saw the interview I did with JB Mazzella, who in my opinion is the best hair cutter in the whole world.
Yeah.
And what you just said. He was like, my mom's a hairdresser. I had to be the best. I had to open my own salon. And it's just crazy that there's so many of us that we've kind of been brought into it by family members. And they have this huge influence over you and you don't even realize it. And I think it's so nice to hear when people say, like, I'm in it because of the family, and like that's the motivation behind it. So that's a really nice thing to hear.
And my mom had 2 hair salons as well. And I didn't know my mom had 2 hair salons until I had my second salon open. I always knew she'd 1, but I never realized she actually had 2 until she told me a couple of years ago. And then my other sister has a salon in Cork, in Cork City. And she loves it as well. So obviously it definitely runs in the family, you know.
Yeah, deadly. Well, like I said, this time flies by and we're running to the end of our interview now. So I wanted to ask you, you at the very start of this interview were saying that you're actually quite enjoying your time off.
Yeah, I love it.
I think for a lot of people, including me, and I'd imagine yourself as well, you get days where you're like, oh my God, I just want to be back. I just want to get back into doing everything. Why are you enjoying this time now? And have you learned anything from being off this long that you're going to now take into going back and being really busy? Is there anything that you're going to do differently now that you've had time to step back and look at everything?
I'm enjoying it now because, like I was saying, only since the interview one evening on the TV at the news about the hairdressers and we not going back until the 20th of July, I was like, I have to stop this. I have to stop somewhere. So I had to stop my rent. But until then, I was absolutely gone mental. My husband went, you're going to need help if you don't calm down. I was so upset about not being able to pay my bills, right? And I got onto my landlord and had a chat with him, and he was brilliant, and got onto my, I suppose, estate agent in Tralee, and he gave me advice. And since then, I've calmed. Do you know what I mean? And I know I still have my ESB and my phone, but I'm doing the products online and selling them, and that's covering that. But going back, you're like, oh my God, every day your head is going 1,000 miles an hour when you have a salon. You have to do this, you have to do this. Whereas at the moment, you don't have that. And you're like, Jesus, is this what it's like to actually have nothing to do at home? Going back into the salon, my girls have been absolutely fantastic since the 14th of March or previous to that. and how they've helped doing their little tutorials. The devastation of making a decision that we had to close down, they were amazing. A friend of ours came into the salon and did all the COVID-19 payments with us. And I go back because I miss them so much, and they're such lovely girls. And they all have lives, and they all have families and children. And we're all in the business to make money. I'll make it, they'll make it. And I could never imagine not being able to provide employment for the girls or myself. So be it is true. Just see what people have been through, and your hair is like relax and enjoy. So you're kind of going in and providing one to get their hair done, and at least it's like we're back to normality and this is over when we go back. That's it really. I'm looking forward to going back to the girls. I'm looking forward to going back to normality, but I will miss being at home. The easy life, which isn't that easy, but anyway.
Yeah, definitely not that easy.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Look, I mean, I've really enjoyed this, and I'm really happy that we've had this chat. But not only that, like the enthusiasm and just everything that you've brought to this conversation is just so nice, because as a Dublin hairdresser, like I said, we do forget that there's other places in Ireland other than Dublin. And I would just love to think that like there will be more people now that will like just appreciate that there is so much more to our industry than just the Dublin hairdressers in Ireland. And you are such a great example of that. I mean, being on Team Ireland, the competitions, running 2 successful salons, and just all the like really like great advice that you've shared. I've just really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for coming on.
You're very welcome. And
I'm really looking forward for other people to seeing this and hearing what other people have to think.
Oh, Jesus. Thanks a minute.
Katrina, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll talk again soon. And like I said to you, I will chop some clips up. I'll send them over to you, and we can kind of talk about what we're going to do about promoting this and whatnot.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye. Enjoy your weekend.
You too. Bye, hon. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like I was saying at the end there, I really do think it's important that as Dublin hairdressers, we realise that there is so much more to our Irish hairdressing industry than just Dublin hairdressers. And Katrina is such a good example of that. Team Ireland, business owner of 2 businesses, and having amazing relationships the way she does with her staff. Just incredible. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Crack it.